word to you. Because think, everybody got different paths and experiences. So God lets one word go forth, but he takes the spirit and let that word minister to you where you've been, what you're dealing with, where you at. That's the activity of the spirit. Where he takes his word and he teaches his people what that means and how it relates to that individual. But he does it where it's still all the same, because then everybody is still in agreement of, amen. But I'm looking at it from my lens, and what I don't nobody know what you looking at in your mind to make you hit better. That's it. And so the Spirit is the one who teaches us. So they was upset. Look what else he says. Verse 14. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses, and for pretense make long prayer. Therefore you shall receive the greater damnation. So it says, look, you taking advantage of people in a helpless state. So think about this. The reality in these times were the widows were people who were without a husband, which meaning they needed help. You okay?
Can you say that again? Could you read 14 again?
Read 14. I got you. So woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses, and for pretense make long prayer. Therefore you shall receive the greater damnation. What is it? How did it read in the NIV?
You know, it's weird. It's not 13 to 15.
There's no 14.
What?
No, I was way
That's why I don't,
That's
that's why I don't like the NIV.
It goes
But
13 to 15. I was trying to follow.
it ain't no 14. Wow. Okay.
That's one of the reasons I had asked you to re-clarify one of the scriptures we was talking about.
It is 14. Was teaching is what he said.
Yeah. It just gets it 15.
Okay. So what he's saying in that verse, where it's at in your book, he's saying that these people were left in a position where they needed support, and particularly support from a man to do certain things, because in those times it was really set up to where the man would do certain things, the woman would do certain things. Right. And so they would take advantage of these people in a way that really, I ain't caring for your soul. I just want you to help meet some of my needs. You helping me feel good. This is part of why, and this is another tight spot, but this is part of why churches, particularly in the black community, are filled with women. There's more women than men.
Yes.
And so this whole spirit of, because if you know a person's need, you can put your language in a way to feed into that pain and that need as if you really understand, but you ain't really doing it to help and support. But you're doing it as this the same mentality that the pimp got. He see you hurting, you're stuck, you need a little bread in your pocket, and he come with the right words. And next thing you know, you following this cat off into something that you would never have done, but you feel he got my back. He understands me. He know what I'm going through, and sooner or later we're going to be through with this, and it's going to be me and him. And so that spirit, not the same way, but it's that spirit that has dominated a lot of the churches in the inner city, where they are praying and trying to build their kingdom off of people that are going through issues and need support, but they dangling the support, but like, just follow me. And now I feel good because I got a lot of people in the church. I got people that'll help me whenever I need help. You know, old pastor. That's that fakeness. That's that fakeness. And because if you love people, you can still be in that same area of support, but you don't have, listen to this, people ain't clinging to you. They ain't clinging to you. Yeah, you may be used by God and God is using you and they can sense that, but they ain't hung up over you. It ain't all about you at all. No. See, the gospel will kill that, because the gospel preacher will make sure that Christ is being exalted. And if people are pursuing you, they pursuing you for one thing. I want more Jesus. Let's talk about him. Let's deal with him. Open that up. Say that again. Read that one more time. What paper was that in? That's where they at. It's about Christ. So look, verse 15. Oh, well, let me just deal with one more thing on 14. It says, for pretense, they make long prayer. they pray for it. How I say in the NIV on that? Your
There is no 14.
Well, it's
15.
15, and
Mm.
it says, woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You travel over land and see the win a single convert, and when he becomes one, you make him twice as much a son of hell as you are.
Okay, so yeah, yours don't have with that one, but it talked about long prayers, but let's deal with that one since it's open right now. 15, he says, you go all the way over here to make one person convert to what you believe. And after you get that cat to convert, he is worse than you. Why? Because what you giving him ain't resting on the truth. It ain't. And so now he following you. And that's why the Bible talks about blind leaders of the blind. Both of y'all about to fall into a ditch. You don't know where you going, and he following you.
The blind lead the blind.
So verse number, I think this is my 16. Which
You do got a 16.
okay, so woe unto you, you blind guides, which say,
Yes, we got
whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. So hold on. What they put above the temple, which was the place of worship, was the money. He said if a person swear by the temple, you be like, oh, that's okay. But if they swear by the gold that's in the temple, man, what you talking about? Don't you talk about this money in here? So their focus was not on the temple, the place of worshiping God. In their mind, it was a place for them to get money. The temple represents money. People come and give tithes and offerings.
They're about the fishes and the loaves. It wasn't about the people.
They wasn't about the people. They was about the money.
Yeah.
He said, so it's nothing if you just say something about the temple. That's cool. We can take that. But don't say nothing about this finances up in here, because now you're in my pocket. Because this is how I eat. I don't eat because God provides for me. I eat because I make sure I got enough people around. I make them feel bad if they don't give tithes and offering, so they go keep giving even if they ain't got no money. Do you not know that it is a sin to give your money when you have a great need? Meaning, God says he will supply all of your needs. He's going to meet your needs. He says he does. He said, I love what kind of giver?
A cheerful.
Cheerful giver. So he says, I don't want you to ever give grudgingly. Grudgingly means I'm giving it to you not out of a heart of faith and love and thank you and you done met my needs and I'm cool, but I'm giving because I'm feeling some pressure. I don't want to give it. I really need to pay this bill with this thing, my rent. But I think, they've been talking about giving and believe God and trust him. I'm supposed to trust him with the money you gave me to go pay my rent. Here you go, landlord. And if I got some other money, bless the church. Let the gospel keep being preached. I want lights on. I want food bought. I want microphones. But first, God going to deal with me before he deal with the church.
You gotta have a place to stand for food.
And so that's in Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 9. And I think it's right around verse 6 through 8 about that. He don't want you to give. He says this, don't give of necessity. Necessity, meaning I feel like it's so necessary. I got to do it, but I'm grudging it, though. I'm like, man, I don't want to. He's like, that ain't the spirit. You ain't cheerful. You is in your mind fighting this war thing. He's like, He said, I want it to be just free-flowing. Give what's on your heart. And so these cats was about the gold, not about the temple, which was for worship. He says, whosoever, verse 18, verse number 17 with me. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifies the gold? He says, which one is greater? The gold that's in the temple or the temple that the gold is sitting in? Where's the real treasure at? Because you know what the temple really represents? The temple is Christ. He's where we go in. In him we worship God. In him we have access to the Father. In him we are not banned from God's presence, but we get God's presence in him. That's where we worship. So really what he was saying is, you will uphold everything, but you want to get rid of me. You want to get rid of me, though. I'm the temple of God. Remember, he said, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I'll raise it back up. And they thought listen to this. They thought on that note, he was talking about they building the worship in. And they was like, blasphemy. Who does he think he is? But they didn't know that he was talking about his own body. He was prophesying his